We didn't see the storm coming. We had just come through a family crisis and we're starting to feel like we were on stable ground again. Then my wife Susan was diagnosed with a rare leukemia. This news struck us in a way I can't even fully explain, but we were shocked, we were scared, and we weren't sure where to turn. It's the kind of thing that you'd never expect, but as I look back, we've learned that storms are inevitable in life, and this was a big one. We turned to our faith. The one thing that we know to be constant in our lives, and it was through that we started to get some sense of how we would tackle this storm. And in the midst of that, I came across the analogy of cattle and buffaloes on the plains in the West, and how they responded when storms came. The cattle would tend to turn and run away from the storm, while the buffalo would face the storm straight on and charge it. The result was that cattle often spent far too long in the storm, and the buffalo got through the storm and typically survived it. And that became our family's mantra: be the buffalo. Don't run, don't hide, face the storm head on with faith, courage, and hope. So we did, day after day, hospital visit after hospital visit. We leaned into the storm. We prayed, and we cried, and we laughed. But most of all, we sought to find joy in the midst of all of our troubles. And it was also during these long hospital stays and doctor's appointments that I'd find myself in coffee shops trying to get a break, take my mind off of the storm. And what I found during that time was community, and I found that a cup of coffee and some conversation can go a long ways. And it was through that experience that the idea for Buffalo Cure Coffee Company came into existence. After Susan's storm came to an earthly end, I knew that the courage in which she walked through this, that was not the end of this story. Buffalo Cure Coffee would not just be a coffee company, but it would be a movement, a place where people could come to be a part of a community, to be encouraged, and to share their own stories. Because Buffalo Cure isn't just Susan and my story, it's your story too. Storms come for all of us, and that can be in the form of a diagnosis, a loss, a deep valley that we didn't see coming. And you don't have to go through it alone. We can come together through Buffalo Cure Coffee and support one another. That's why we're building a community, the Herd, a place where we can come together and tell our stories and be encouraged and know that we are not alone. If you're looking for inspiration or in the midst of a storm yourself, or want to be part of something that gives back while you receive hope, this Herd is for you. Because storms will come, but together we can face the storms, and together we can be the buffalo.